Greetings and welcome back. I'm your host Hambbage, and we're here to play some more hardcore vanilla Minecraft. So thanks for joining. Hope you enjoy this episode. We'll go ahead and dive right in. Um, End of the last episode, we were in the town or village, and Sane was going to take a bit of a break. Did just that. Same day play session for me, but got outside for a minute, got some food, dinner, and I'm now back, so we did want to sleep right to go. As I see that that scene, made me wanted to dive into bed. As I recall, we were sort of in the process of moving through this town. Uh-oh. Come on, world. Wake up. We're back. We gotta play here. So yeah, we'll hopefully without any real performance issues play through. I do have been kind of continue, as I described in one of the earlier videos, continue to load videos and schedule out some updates in YouTube. So we have one video already set to go for midnight, and then we have our last play session, which would have been episode 1 of this slow cooker world, is currently uploading. Still a little bit to finish. It'll be done well before we get going, and we'll have it probably go sometime early on Saturday morning while we're all outside. We'll probably still asleep in our beds, but while we're looking forward to hopefully where you are as well as where I am, a day where we can get outside and enjoy. Still pretty darn nice here. Got outside just briefly to stretch my legs, and nice. Let's temporarily take I'll take the 2 pieces. Now we hope to we hope to get some of that switched out to iron, but we're just running around. Oh, so are you a beaver, dude? Shepherds have the looms, and the leathermen have the guy we just saw would have the clothing stuff. Interesting. Yeah, I never look at those too terribly much, so it's good to refresh. Anyway, as I was saying, it was pretty nice. Got outside and stretched my legs a little bit, and I actually came back and took a quick look online. As I've said, I live along a creek that I often will take little walks on, and a few times now I see it almost every day. It's real close, so I kind of walk past that piece pretty regularly, unless I just go out to the streets. But along this creek, kind of right out opposite where I live, there's a man-made stone dam that it's purely drainage and flood control type stuff, for springs and all that. But there's a little dam there that they can use to regulate the creek downstream, and as they do, there is a little sluice gate. They can say, all right, no more water gets out, or lots of water gets out. That's flood control management stuff. So there's one dam designed for that, and I've always been interested, the birds and animals and all that kind of stuff. So often I'll see, an egret or something out wading in that slightly deeper water, and we're not talking a big lake. It's really just a curve in a creek, and it fills in. It's mostly chalked up with cattails and reeds and stuff. So it's not open water really, but I would guess they do pretty well hunting frogs and things back in that little pondy type area. So it's always always cool to kind of take a look. Well, before that dam, right along the sidewalk, there's a little channel, and in years past, I've seen muskrat going in and out of a little burrow um, on the bank, and that's exactly what muskrat do. For anybody who doesn't know, they look a little bit like a little beaver. They're smaller. They're called muskrat because they take a rat and take a beaver and kind of combine them. So rat has a long tail, skinny and kind of fleshy, and a beaver has a wide, broad tail. Um, Muskrat, I'd say is a little bit of a hybrid. It's closer to a, excuse me, a beaver tail than a traditional rat, a sewer type rat or a pet rat type tail, which are long and kind of pink. They're equally hairless, but like a beaver, before I say that, I don't know how much I would imagine they do. I mean, it would work well for it, but I don't know how much beavers actually use their tails for swimming. I assume quite a bit, but muskrat definitely do. And it's kind of paddle shaped, and as I see them, and I've seen a lot more muskrat than I ever have really. I've seen beaver lodges. They're up in the mountains, and you can see them. Um, but more often you see evidence of the beavers than the actual beavers themselves. So having a lot, just amount of time spent, right? I spend a lot more time in parks and stuff down here that are closer to my home than I do at, even though I love to go camping and hiking and stuff up in the mountains, but I may day to day go to parks and areas around my home, just get outside. But the mountains, even for somebody here, I don't have to go on a vacation trip to get to the mountains, which I treasure. That's why I live where I do. But wow, look at this, another village. Um, but I also, I just don't get. You can't drive an hour or two just to go to a park every day. That's just ridiculous. So. Um, that's those are the decisions you make. But there's loads of people that move up into the mountains, and like that, I'm very tempted a lot of times, especially as I do things like this, where and after a pandemic, where you're like, yeah, how much do I really value the things I haven't done in this past year? I like sports, going to those live. I like concerts and things like that, but gotten by okay, and some of that is, if everybody's doing it, you probably would miss it a lot more than when nobody is. So take it all with a grain of salt, right? But anyway, I don't know. I'm not imminently planning on going to the mountains. I still think, I don't think I'd ever want to live like right in a city, even a city the size of Denver. A metropolitan specifically area is a little too dense for me. I want, I want some open space and some and Denver's beautiful. Don't get me wrong; they've got great trails along some of the rivers and that kind of stuff. It's an active city that tries to. I think like most cities these days try to enhance that image and those opportunities for their residents. So, but again, just personal preference. Like everybody over time comes to say, yep, that's my comfort. That's where I am. And for me, still, maybe more eventually. As a kind of retirement type deal or something. You move out a little bit more, but there's a cost to that. You give up on having multiple stores that you can go to for variety. You pay a little bit more for groceries and gas and things like that because there's not as much competition, and that goes without concerts and restaurants and sporting events, and all the car maintenance, things like that. Unless you're prepared to do a lot more of that stuff yourself, you don't have the numbers and variety. And so, a lot of people up there, as we talk about, you can't justify going hiking twice a week necessarily, or whatever your comfortable time frame is. For a lot of people in the mountains, they say, I can't justify going back down the hill, as kind of the local verbiage is. I can't go down the hill just to go to sporting events more than once a year, or a couple times a year, or I can't. We did our grocery trip 2 weeks ago. We're not just going to take a 2 hour drive just to get those couple items we forgot, kind of stuff. And I'm making that out a little bit more. Listen, you're not on the moon, right? There's local grocery stores and stuff around up there. You're not there's just like rural areas around the rest of the United States, and I'm sure the world. The communities and have certain resources. You don't live in places for a long, long time unless you're a real diehard. That you can't get in and out of and back to, and have some access. So I'm a little bit, but in terms of height, that's just a priority. It's kind of like the cutting edge technology question. How much do you need? How often do you need it? Well, mountains versus city, you got to decide that. So anyway, up in the mountains, there's beavers. Down here, as I understand it, muskrat. And I've always, back when I was doing more photography, I kind of just go out to a park and cruise around and wonder, what might I see today. Show me, world. What do you got for me? I'm all eyes and all ears, and just want to experience. And that's a great way to go about doing things. Kind of parallels, I guess, the attitudes around starting a YouTube or a stream or something like that. If you're receptive to whatever may come of it, and don't let it stop you, I think you'll enjoy, and you get to see a lot more, right? In streamer parlance, if you say, I'm going to be a Minecraft streamer, and you try and you try and try, and you figure out that people just are either saturated with that, or don't have a desire, or your play style doesn't fit with what most of that audience is, you may be limiting yourself when maybe you're a natural when it comes to producing content in Call of Duty or Fallout, or anything like that. The whatever the current fun popular game is. Maybe there's a real demand for variety streamers, things like that. And, you're limiting if you just decide going in, this is what I'm going to do. Well, I've certainly, back when it was always a hobby, but, when I was doing photography, if I'd said, I'm going to go out and take pictures of landscapes only. So I want to see the mountains and, maybe some trees and waterfalls and all kind of stuff. And I ignored the wildlife as I was going around. I'm going to miss some real opportunities. Conversely, if you're so caught up in, I'm going to see flowers, and you're not looking at birds, maybe you miss a lot of really cool stuff just in the course of spending your time outside by not being open and receptive to that stuff. So when I was doing pictures, I always said, hey, I'm just out here taking pictures, and if I happen to get birds, or if I happen to get animals, or just plants, whatever it is, I'll just enjoy it. And it was again, I say was because I just haven't had as much time to do some of those kind of things recently as I would like, but it's a real rewarding hobby while I was spending a lot of time into it. I really enjoyed it, and I got to learn a lot of stuff. We'll take channeling. We'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, again, I just think when by going out and, basically, my methodology in photography was just go for a walk in try to go find a new park or something you haven't seen before. Um, Go for a walk, see what you see, take a whole bunch of pictures, and when you get done, try to learn from, oops, whatever you saw and whatever you tried to capture, so you become a better photographer, but also so you become better acquainted with the world. Um, it's just cool stuff. So that's uh, that's always kind of been my approach. It's cool that we're getting this iron and bones. The bones, of course, will help us out with the little doggy friend back at our camp, and the iron will let us at least switch out that helmet. Okay, get everything. Not super awesome in terms of cave like that. A couple diamonds would have gone a long way, but that's all right. We got enough to feel like we got some stuff, and we've seen 2 villages since we've come in here. So now is that the same village that we just did? I think so, because we were in our boat and we came around that way. Hell, or I'm spun around and lost. We'll see. Sorry, pretty sure that's the same village. Did I pick up my boat? I did. Okay. All right. Well, let's work our way back to camp and maybe grab some of the sugar as we go. Since we already started a stack of that. So, as I was out, carrying a camera and, hiking in various kinds of climates and weather and all that kind of stuff, I did learn quite birds kind of are a great target. That's why so many people are birders. You don't hear a lot about animalers, because you just don't see as many. And insecty ites, you see, certainly as little kids and stuff, I think everybody at a time has a butterfly net kind of deal and a insect collection, whether you do it for a school project or whether you just like bugs and go out as a littler kid and just kind of find out what's out there. Um, those kind of things happen, but they're not as visually impressive. Birds are particularly well suited because they're colorful. A lot of them are colorful. A lot of them are very well camouflaged too. But they sing. They fly through the air. They just have a myriad of um, appeal, and just the act of identification and the knowledge that you get and their various habitats and dependencies. The people that kind of get caught into the birding hobby, most people that haven't been exposed to that kind of go, why would I ever do that? It seems, but you start a little list, right? And around here, most people can say, "Oh yeah, I know what a robin looks like. I know what a blue jay looks like. A crow, a crow. I got that, and some kind of a dove and a pigeon and I don't know. Aren't there sparrows? Sparrows a bird, right? Very quickly it becomes questionable. Well, early on you kind of head outside and maybe you meet people that are already doing that, or maybe you just understand. You go to on a trip and you get a list of birds, and you come back home and you go, oh, you know what? There's some citizen science being done around backyard bird counts, or tracking over time what birds are in an area. And so you kind of start keeping an eye out. Maybe you have a feeder, maybe you don't. But you learn, hey, there's a lot of varieties of sparrows or finches. Those kind of things become a little more complex and there's more depth and it keeps you looking. And soon you go, oh, these are the various species that are around in my area. And, most birders keep lists. And, it's kind of how many birds have you seen in an area or how many can you see on a given day? Well, to increase that or to see animals that you haven't already seen, it doesn't have to just be birds. I use that because it's, even if you don't do it, you may have heard of it or probably have. So the idea of collecting or noting what you've seen is is kind of unique to that. So we'll put those there for a moment, just while we get settled back in here. So hang on one second. One more story here in a second, but let me finish up. So, um, birds get into deeper and deeper habitats, and teach you about where they. You have to learn about where they live and what conditions they like in order to see more of them. And as I was by and large just wanting to be outside when I even got started in some of this kind of stuff, but very quickly found that it, like a lot of things, and like a particularly good video game, it will pull you deeper as you go. It will you'll kind of realize your gaps in knowledge and understand that those are limiting your greater comprehension or understanding of what's going on, and so you'll kind of work to fill those in. I'm going to hold on to this just for the moment since we don't have too much coal yet. We'll take these 13. Let's get make sure I get the right ones. So we've got a hat and we got pants. All right. Iron well spent. Now we're right back to where we were when we died the last time. And that's always worth remembering is we're not, even though we're feeling a little bit better in iron, we're not really safe by any means. Okay, let's get these saplings dumped. Okay, let's wrap up story time while we were on our boat ride. I was hoping we'd kind of finish, but as usual, they grow in the telling. So I started learning a lot more. Kind of, began to learn more about habitats and things like that. So what does that have to do with the path by my house and muskrats and beavers? So I've seen muskrats outside my house in this little creek bed, and to me, that's their habitat, right? It's not super woody, the neighborhoods and things, a lot of trees. People plant trees in their yards and all that, but we're not in a forest. We're, as I've said, kind of at deeper length, we're really on the plains. That's our habitat here, and the trees and things are introduced by and large all in and of itself. Trees wouldn't really grow here until you start making aquifers and reservoirs and stuff, and people water their lawns and their trees and all that. You've got to kind of encourage them. Otherwise, it would largely revert to kind of a grassland type setting. With the higher up in elevation you go, as you get closer to the mountains, and here it's fairly I'm fairly close. Crow flies maybe 5 miles from what's referred to as the front range of the hogback or the Flatirons up at Boulder. It's that first ridge of significant foothills or upthrust rock slabs that kind of break out of the soil and become pretty and kind of impressive. People take pictures of those too. I did, but all those kind of scenes and settings allow for more tree growth. The higher you get, more snow falls. The higher elevation, and it will settle around. So all that really cool, good stuff. But I have witnessed since kind of the middle of winter, late winter, that there's a kind of a dam across this little creek out back of my place, and it's kind of what I would describe as a messy dam. It's fairly low, and again, this isn't a substantial river or creek, so it's not massive, and there's a lot of just litter or trash. When I say it's messy, not kind of haphazard sticks and things, but it also doesn't just look like inadvertent branches and trash and stuff all snagged right there and happen to stack up. It looks a little more designed, which leaves to, is it some kids that decided I did similar stuff with snow in the street when it was melting. Maybe not to quite that scale, but there's dirt and a hose or snow melt on a sloped street as a kid. You make dam. The kids do that. Well, if you had a few friends, this isn't an impossible thing. It's pretty big, but to me, it looked like something some intentional creatures could have done. And because I've seen muskrat in the past in exactly that stretch, I kind of decided, all right, I don't think I've ever seen a muskrat dam before, but they must do that. They make these burrows, a beaver for non. I don't know if beavers have been transported back into Europe and Asia or anything like that, or if they're purely North American. I think they're purely North American, but I don't know if they've spread or were spread in the past. Um, Beavers make dams. They're through cartoons and popular media and all that. You probably, even if you haven't seen one in real life, what big buck teeth and flat crosshatch tail when you draw one. Make a cartoon or something, and yeah, they make a dam, create a little pond, and really are the meadow builders of mountains because those dams then let eroded dirt settle, and it fills in and makes a flatter meadow between steeper slopes. So that's how mountain meadows and things get formed is by beavers. Well, I've always I've known about that, and I've seen beaver lodges, which are the kind of piles of sticks that are out in the middle of it, and they may be several feet deep. They and they have an underwater entrance, so land predators like a coyote or a wolf or a mountain lion, things like that don't swim underwater will have a very tough time getting to their sleeping place and their young and all that. Those will all be securely tucked away from predators. Good, obviously it's a working system, so very good. But I saw this dam and was like, well, muskrats are there. It looks like an animal dam. It looks like a sloppy, smaller beaver dam. That must be what muskrats do. That probably they're related. They behave very similarly and all that. So finally, after a couple months of looking at this thing and thinking I should look at that or I should talk to some of my friends that might know more about that kind of stuff, I'm getting this lag and I don't know what's going on there. Let's see if it gets better. Otherwise, I may have to see. I think we've run long enough that my previous video probably is completed through YouTube. And that had a browser going. I can maybe shut that down and see. So, anyway, this is why my stories get so disjointed. But what I found out today when I finally decided to take a look as I came back in was first thing, do muskrats build dams is what I typed in. The easiest way to tell beavers apart from muskrat are that muskrats don't build dams. Well, okay, there's that answer. But here's a creek that really, there's no trees. It's not like beavers are out there chewing down a wide range of birches and things like that to make it. As far as I know, that's what beavers they use young saplings of second type growth deciduous plants in a mountainy forest, or it doesn't have to be mountainy, it can be a foresty forest stuff. And further north you go, more so, I don't think you typically see beavers out, just bouncing around, in Nebraska or something, because there's not a lot of trees for one thing. But so that's my new dilemma. That's what I've been kind of thinking is, why on earth am I seeing a what looks, it wasn't like the park commission came and built a dam out of litter and sticks and stuff. So either it's a snag that just happened, but is, very complete, very uniform, aside from the fact that it's got a bunch of just litter streaming through it, or, put into it. But maybe that came along and then the litter was added to it. I don't know. Very cool though. I love nature. I love those surprises, because if you'd asked me, I would have sworn that the animals I've seen, and this was last year, I think, it could have been 2 years ago, um, that were going in and out of what appeared to be a burrow under an overhanging bush on the bank of this little creek were muskrats. Same behavior I've seen on other muskrats along the way, where I'd gotten pictures with a telephoto lens, and easily able to go in and verify what I was looking at. So now, are there beavers that would come down into kind of suburbia and set up shop in a small creek in the between neighborhoods, but in a greenbelt type area, and not particularly lush with vegetation, but a wildlife corridor, certainly belt, that goes all the way on up towards the mountains. There's nothing that would prevent something from wandering down this far, but I don't know. It was very interesting, and I definitely like that as um, a bonus of being aware of nature. It's just kind of a free gift of the world to have a mind teaser in the form of, man, I'm looking at that and it doesn't quite make, I can't quite confirm what, and maybe there's somebody out there that's like, oh, I know exactly what, here's the behavior, this is what this is, but a quick internet search didn't answer it for me, so I'll be left to wonder a little bit what I've got going on in my backyard. Okay, we got two ponds. We got this kind of ridge and that hill, but I think we could, kind of take this down, expand those. That could get us our area. Now that tree is, of course, it's like the biggest, coolest tree around. But that one might have to go just to make room. But maybe that's where we put our home. This is a pretty big, cool tree too. I know we left that, but maybe that one rivals. I don't know. If you can't tell, I'm struggling a little bit on how to proceed, how to motivate, how to build above ground and get myself enthusiastic about that, because still not quite there. I'll tell you, I'm not just there yet. I don't know. What kind of cruise? Maybe we'll jump back in the boat after this night. Go out for another adventure. Um, so muskrats, cool. I still believe what I'm saying. Either both muskrat and or beaver, primarily nocturnal. You don't see, you may see them at dawn or dusk, that kind of stuff, but you don't, they're not just out there sunning for you to look at. It's not like a Canada goose or something that will honk at you as it stands there and challenges you to make it move off the sidewalk, kind of stuff. So I don't know. We'll sleep with the turtles. It's better than sleeping with the fishes, right? Um, in other news, I think I've talked about this before. I don't know if I've had one. I had some pork green chili for dinner tonight. Ooh man, my head's still sweating. It may be why there's a few hiccups tonight. Um, I'm pretty sure I've talked about this, but in the fall here in Colorado, we have a lot of access to just Hatch green chilies, which come from Hatch, New Mexico, and that you can get them canned. I think pretty much anywhere. They're not a super delicacy, but in the fall, and I would imagine this is all over New Mexico, like Albuquerque and Santa Fe, certainly up and down the metropolitan areas of the Front Range of Colorado. Um, when it's pepper harvest season, they will people will set up stands, and I grew up in the Midwest where that was sweet corn in the summer was there'd be corns. It's the local produce crop, and you can only get it at that kind of time. Well, in the fall, it's obviously when the peppers are ready. They pick them. They transport them to the stands fresh. The peppers hold pretty well, and these Hatch chilies have a relatively tough skin, so they don't just dry out immediately or anything like that. So I don't think they need extra refrigeration on any other than a customer. I don't have a whole lot of insight, but as a customer, you go to the stand and there's a table set up, with hot and medium and or mixed, depending, but a medium or a mild and a hot, and then they'll have random other things to sell you alongside, but mainly you're going to get bushel or bushels of peppers, and when you say I want these types of peppers, and then they put them into laundry baskets, just the small little handheld round laundry basket kind of things, and pour in however much you need, fill those up, and take them over to a circular roaster. And it's kind of like, if you know the bingo roller things that the balls bounce, or the lottery, the kind of things like that. Well, it's just a big cylindrical kind of drum, but it's made out of steel grating, grating the kind of not chicken wire and not mesh exactly, but kind of that stuff where it's has a diamond pattern and holds the peppers in, but lets a direct flame source kind of cook them as they bounce around in this bin, and it rotates, and they all get more or less evenly roasted, so that their outer skin is black and charred, and the insides are now cooked up nicely. So all pretty cool stuff, but you can only get these, and then you got big garbage. They put them in like a double kitchen garbage bag thing of plastic to let them keep sweating. And they say, once you leave them in that bag while they're hot, and they'll continue to sweat and cook in their own steam. They're keeping the heat all contained in that knotted bag. So by the time they're ready, you've long gotten home. You kind of go through this process. Hopefully, you have a few friends around, and you all get together and you peel these cooked peppers, and it's really the only way to get the pepper off of them is to we can have fortune and silk touch anyway. We've already got fortune shells, so I'm not gonna mess around with that. Got no gold. Lava under our feet. We want to make sure we don't fall in that. All right, well, that was meh. So yeah, in the fall you have a pepper peeling party, and in conjunction with that, you smoke a pork butt overnight, or in the oven, or ideally you smoke it, and so you have a big old batch of pulled pork that's done and fresh off the grill, the smoker, grill, whatever, ready to go. as you're getting your peppers peeled. And then you make a roux and you add the combination of peppers with the pork and some various onions and garlics and some if you're me, you always tell everybody else, hey, well, you need just a few more jalapenos or some habaneros or something. I like a little bit more upfront heat. Um, but that's all personal taste, and the extra ingredient type stuff is all taste. Add up some spices and things, and man, it is a year-long treasured treat. It's one of those things where in the fall, when you're making it, you eat in abundance because when you kind of work together on something like that, you end up making a whole bunch, right? And this is big stew pot kind of deal that sits on one burner on a kitchen stove, but it takes up the whole thing and is it's kind of a white elephant who's got to store the stew pot until next year. And as a apartment guy, I really fight against that. It would take up like half my kitchen even to just have it. This looks like a bad deal. Um, so yeah, you come home, you've got like 20, not each 20, but close, a dozen plus of the quart-sized Tupperware type things of green chili. And that's pretty nice. And then, you eat a bunch when it feels like your whole freezer's full of them and you're just trying to get them moved. And then all of a sudden you reach a tipping point. You're like, man, I only have like 6 left to get me through the whole year. I got to go slow. So they get stored in like a Ziploc freezer bag, and 2 of those Tupperwares go in. It just helps keep them less frostbitey. But when you do that, you pull the 2 and kind of maybe depending on how urgent it is, you maybe microwave defrost one and leave the other in the fridge, or slow if there's that much forethought. Usually not for me, but if you're thinking about it, you slow defrost them and just have them ready. But once you've done one, then you kind of got to do them in pairs, unless you refreeze. But I rarely, hey, I'm pulling these out. I want to have one now and one later. So that's I had the second one today, so I got 2 left now for this year. But we're almost into real summer when you think about it, and that's not bad. So before we know it, hopefully we'll have fresh new peppers and a whole new batch. And here's the diamonds we were just talking about. That's awesome. I'll definitely take you. All right. Now we can make a sword. Are there, we got 2 advancements there. Are there sticks around? Man, if I'd pulled all those random tools, I could have stripped off their enchantments and gotten some. Yeah, I was like, oh, we can make the diamond sword right now since we're here with a workbench, but no sticks, and I don't know. I guess we could get a stick here. Now we just gotta find the place with the workbench again. Is it this one with the cactus? There's one. There we go. Boom! Look at that. All right. So they don't think I'm ungrateful. Now where'd that little chest go? Here. Give you back a stick and an iron sword in exchange for a diamond sword. It seems fair, right? Totally. Nobody would miss a. You do have some salmon, but I think we'll wait on that. Ooh, she said sandfall? It's kind of cool. Oh, it's just gravel. I was like, ooh, that looks cool. So we've reached more icebergs, and we're kind of, we were just going straight west. And now I'm worried, why is there all that stuff? Had we already curved back around? We're still in a... So I guess we already tucked in on these icebergs? Man, oh man. We're going around the ice. Just like the captain of the Titanic said. Full ahead. After a nap. Yeah, I mean, if we don't go around the ice, we gotta turn... Is that boat up on top of the ice? That is so cool. If that's really what that is, how awesome is that? Oh, look, let's not get eaten by the polar bears, though. How can we get up to it? See, baby. What did I tell you? We're not going to die to a polar bear. Let's just not forget where our boat is. This could definitely be trouble, but we're going to risk. So ice, we've talked a little bit. We haven't really gone into mine it, and that's really the only time I get a lot of consideration. Usually, I'm far more equipped when I do that. But wow, this is so cool. I don't know, if that's if there's any specific coding to make. Oh, yeah. We'll take a suspicious stew too. Now, nothing out of that. Yeah, we'll hang on to these for now. I don't think we'll keep those. Yeah, I don't think we'll keep that. But the bamboo, fantastic. All right, world, you knew I'd kind of, gave you your notice. Oh, I was gonna say, I guess that's the extent. So this may be the treasure map one. Yeah, this can take a little bit longer. Now, at a village, I said, oh, it's not gonna bother with the paper. Paper always kind of depends on the volume of paper. I think our boat's back out there. If you have enough of it, then it kind of warrants having a stack, right? All right, that looks like about it on that. So we lose out on the treasure chest, which is usually above the map chest. So, if the boat's right side up, this is the one that has, we got bamboo, but, they sometimes have carrots and potatoes and things. If you go down, again, the boat's right side up, then this would be the air pocket doorway where we could go in to breathe, and up above it and to the back would have been the area where, I think some people refer to it as kind of like a captain's treasure chest, right? It's got all the treasure, and that. Oh, so here's, again, no silk touch, but I think ice, blue ice packed ice, or blue we'll do a lot more with ice eventually. For now, we're just happy. We're getting good stuff. So this is the village we just hit. We just had cut in from the river, not knowing that this came around. Depending on what this coastline does, I guess we'll see. I was kind of hoping maybe we'd wrap back around the ice and it would just be stuck into a little bay kind of thing, but it doesn't look that way. Up ahead on the left, If everyone will please look at the left side of the bus or the boat, we will soon be passing a desert well structure. Everyone is still trying to determine what the purpose of the desert well is. They're worthless and just silly. You get a little bit of water, but they're just. I guess they're probably more real to life, right? That in um, in massive deserts, places where wells were created or maintained are, at times worth fighting over to have those rights. And um, a movie that a lot of younger folks may not even be as familiar with. I don't know how many recent um, recent folks are, how much run it gets in recent rotation. I don't know that I've ever seen it on Netflix or Prime or anything like that, advertised at least. Is Lawrence of Arabia. Um, Another great epic type movie, and very similar to the Dances with Wolves that I talked about along the way. Almost, I would say, uh, inspirational to, and I don't know the writers of either, but it would almost seem like a sort of model to the same story in a different context. But in Lawrence of Arabia, that Bedouin desert culture is explored and kind of awakened to by Lawrence, who's in that case a British military person. And while the stories kind of unfold indirectly, he gets exposed to what the English were thinking of were just these barely literate nomads, and kind of disparaged as similar savages to the Native Americans that in the Dances with Wolves. Anyway, early on, he's crossing the desert and gets introduced to how important these wells are, and the fact that you can get killed, if you're at a well you're not supposed to be at, or you may have to defend yourself in doing so. So it's it, that well. Now that we're right back to it, that well is probably more emblematic of real desert life than the sprawling wheat growing desert villages that are much more common these days. So let's see what this little guy's got. Ooh, that's cool. Those are cool. That's pretty decent. That's, oh, we'll take these though. Oh. All right. Gold block on that one. Now I've even got an iron axe to get it. As long as I don't fall on any level. But I got water. Nope. Nope. Yep. All right, so we talked green chili, we talked muskrats versus beavers, we've talked desert wells. What else can we talk about here now? Let's venturing on. Speaking of nomadic, I just I don't know. That forest we're at feels good. I kind of like it, but I'm not feeling the urge to just build from the ground up yet. If if in any of this kind of exploratory boating that we're doing, we find something awesome, or we find a resource set that would let me bring back some blocks I really want to use to build with, that may change things a little bit. Or maybe just pulling sandstone from it. We seem to have plenty of deserts around. Maybe we build a fortification of sandstone, kind of not a castle so much as more of just a fortification, and do something along those lines. Uh, need to get inspiration. Don't know if I'm gonna get that this evening, but we'll just keep plugging along. I've heard conflicting things that nowadays there's that looks flat anyway. But I was gonna say, used to be back in the day that you certainly could. I know I found them a few times. If you were out in the desert and you were walking along, you would occasionally find big squares of sand up a higher level than the surrounding area. And that meant that there was a spawner down below that, if you dug down at some point, you'd find that there were zombies or skeletons or something being spawned in a little spot. Well, the reason is that, as the world was being built, those spawner rooms, where the cobble with the mossy cobble on the floor, and the the little area where the two chests and the spawning machine show up, those would get spread out over the map, and then the world would fill in. Well, with sand, it would attempt to settle, and in the one spot where the room had been made, the sand would be lifted up 8 blocks or however many that high that room is. So that was kind of a little trick to find some goodies. But as I said, I'm pretty sure that no longer is the case. I'm also pretty sure that yeah, that's right. Pretty sure something. Pretty sure I lost my train of thought. That's interesting. I don't think I can just mine up your coal chimney. I don't know why you would make a chimney out of coal. That seems to be begging for fires. In terms of bad ideas, that one's right up there. I think we got enough hay. We can make bread for days. So I'm not gonna fool around with that too much. Yeah, really, I think my main delay here is just having lost those couple of worlds where we've been working on getting farms and things established as kind of priority, and doing pretty well at that stuff. It's really limited just getting out and moving around in a world, and I'm not ready to, I know that once I get going, it's going to continue along a pretty predictable path, and I just want a little bit of chance to see the world before we lose this one. is that bleak? Oh yeah, we came up that side. That's Mr. Coal Chimney. I'm getting a lot of emeralds out of this. We're almost full of, I don't know, what do we do now? We've got cacti close enough to home, right? Honestly, do I need gunpowder that badly? Do I need apples that badly when we're in a freaking forest? Or, the book I kind of need, those things will help us eventually, but just want a reason not to have to start thinking about going home yet. I'm not tired. I'm not tired, Mom. I want to stay out more. Your parents are looking at the clock and watching you yawn between. Now that I said that, watch, here it comes. I can already feel it. That's me and my yawning. Look at you, horse, hanging out with a golem. Be cool to see a golem ride a horse, right? He almost looked like he was doing it. It hurt me. He was like, "Yep, I'm in." In other news, have I already been over here? No, now we have to go find where we left our boat. I kind of like, we talked about Monty Python and the Minecraft splash screen, and the various title clips that they'll display. Um, the one when we closed out after the last episode was water bottle, and the one after that was yes sir. Not too. I mean, they could be referring to something, but those are pretty non-specific. There's so much possible reference. All right, let's swap back out our boat. Now we can, at this point, we didn't go super far. That looks like a fairly small little iceberg area. So maybe, maybe veer. We'll maybe see if this is an underwater portal that we're coming up on, if it's got a chest we can get to. Look at that. Another toe burner. But now we're a little better equipped to. If this is lava, I'm gonna be so mad. I guess they'll float up anyway. So air, just enough. But see how the iron, my hearts aren't going down? So I can kind of stand in there. And yeah, I'll get a little bit of damage, but then I can heal up from it by eating and top off my food again. Boom. And now we've got enough time to just go look and see if there's a chest. And take these two. That. The pick I don't care about. I don't know. Air. Here. Yank me down. But as it's doing it, it's refilling my air too, so you can get a little bit in trouble through those. Okay, so let's see. We picked up extra gold there. We picked up this pig, which I could throw away at any point. Let's do this. No, it's just this is how it gets tough. I don't know what do we get? Jump boost. We're not even in a place where we can use that. So suspicious stew will give you any random effect, and there's like 8 of them, and they're you can craft suspicious stews, and the only way I know of it is the wiki that you can actually look up. What's all right. We were talking about can we find something cool finally? This is certainly cool. I think. Got this too. Yeah. So this may still be, but certainly has historically been one of the most rare biomes in worlds. It's called Mushroom Island, and here's who I was coming around to see. Hi guys. These are mushrooms. They're kind of cows that emerged with mushrooms. They may be a bit demonic, but I'm not going to hold it against them. Because once we have an extra bucket, we can come and... I think it's a bucket. I don't think I can get it here. We'll try, though. Oh, I can! Look at that! So we can get mushroom stew into... Usually you milk them into a bucket, I think. But if you milk them, instead of milk, you get mushroom stew. So, cool. And I think we made it in one of the worlds that I've been playing in. But look at that, we're hungry, so we'll... Nice enough. Now, I don't have any wood, and there's no wood on mushroom biomes. There's some interesting attributes of mushrooms that are pretty interesting. Let's just see how large this is. First off, let's pull this up just so you can see. So we're in the mushroom fields, and is it mushroom shore or hills? I always forget. Field shore. There you go. So there's two different biomes. Mushroom fields and mushroom field shores. I don't think there's a mushroom hills because that's what I usually run around. And I'm like, oh, it's shore. But these are two of the biomes that you have to track down in the deal. And let's bear with me just a second here. We'll pull this up. So, because this is exactly what I'm talking about when I make these worlds. So, do that. Oh, that's still the death loot one. Hang on, hang on. Oh, I gotta open it. No, I don't. It's there. This is riveting entertainment for you, I'm sure. What's he doing? What? No. Why would I want a second game capture window? Discard. I'm so. If I derail this, I'm sorry. We're only at an hour though. I'd really like to not just give it up. No. Oh man. Delete. That was the death one. I don't think I need that one anymore. It's not going. Okay, this is the game. Oh, maybe I need to open this again so it's not in the tray. Now let's try it. Sorry, what I'm just trying to do is pull back up the world nodes. There we go. Okay, sorry for all that. You guys pull it here into the middle of the screen. So you guys get to see this is just the notepad where you threw the spawn. So we always talk about the cat, the cats and the biomes, and I put all these down here so that I can track when I've found any rare ones that I'm not likely to just come across in my normal place. So having found the mushrooms, we'll do that, and then while we're here, and I know the biomes are called mushroom fields shore. The cows themselves are mushrooms, and I think almost universally folks will refer to them as the mushroom island. I certainly do. So that's what we got. We got a negative 2016 and something 2061. So now we can find our way back again if we want to. So what else are cool about Mushroom Islands? They have two different biomes, which we've now captured and cataloged. You can get regular mushrooms, giant mushrooms, and mushroom stew, which, frankly, why else do you want them? Actually, that's not true. Brown mushrooms have a use outside. I think that's my boat. I'm already on the brink of getting lost in here. But this is the other use, and let's drop you. Come over here so I don't pick you back up. Let's do this. So the silk touch came in handy. Mycelium? I'm thinking here, trying to go from memory before we actually pull it up. I think it's mycelium. Mycelium. So this is like podzol in the block type, and I think usually you find a mushroom island, you're kind of good, but we'll take some of this back. I'm not sure if it will let us grow giant mushrooms when we get back home. Having this conveniently spawned Silk Touch Axe right as we were showing up here. Is a good reason to. Um, I also don't know. I think it's the biome as opposed to the block, but um, mobs won't spawn even in low light level, and that's kind of what I was unsure. After you've lifted a few blocks and exposed dirt, does that are all bets off? And are we gonna get going here? But in terms of places to live, if you are trying to play hardcore and trying to also kind of maintain a less um, combative, more creative style, that's pretty good. And I don't know, maybe that's just what we've been missing. Our gameplay is a little more life in the cow lane. Um, it's certainly possible. Um, I don't see why we would need more than 22 in a different biome. But I was gonna just, while we're here, get one more stew for the road. Yeah, move. Oh, and we've got wheat. While we're here with wheat, we should just like cows, they will. One more. Need a volunteer, sir, ma'am. There you go. Let's go. We got our first breeding, little baby moose. I'm kind of just lingering here. I haven't really figured out the whole I just let YouTube select my the image it wants to use for the little thumbnail, the video. But some baby mushrooms would be kind of cool. I think it's probably like getting your picture holding up the Leaning Tower of Pisa or pinching the Statue of Liberty from the Jersey shoreline or something. It's kind of obligatory. You're here, you got to do it. We'll see. But that's awesome, man. We got a mushroom bread. We got our mushroom stew eaten. We saw the biome, and we know where it is, and it's not impossible to come back there for further fun. What I haven't done now, there's a temple out here somewhere. There it is. I have yet to note the coordinates of the little campsite base that we made. There's maybe I don't know, somewhere between 2000 and 2010 country song. And I don't know if it was the original or not, but it was pop country stuff, which every once in a while, usually kind of ironically, usually when the weather starts to get warm and you're kind of out driving with the windows open and stuff, every once in a while for like a week at a time, I'll kind of be like, oh yeah, man, I'm down. Find a kind of pop country station and listen to what's new because it's not all overplayed and tired. And then yeah, after a couple weeks, I'm done. I'm over it. It's not my favorite style of music, but I love the kind of the the freewheeling embrace of just kind of simple fun life, celebrating good simple times and that kind of stuff that falls into that genre. And yeah, road trips, things like that. Maybe sometimes it's cool. Although road trips, man, that's driving songs, and that's a whole chat's worth of live stream content when you talk through. What are your road trip songs? What are the classics that you like? What's some new stuff that you go with? Do you are you the sing along where you want you want lyrical stuff that you can just you're going solo across a state and you're just gonna sing yourself hoarse as you're no one has to listen and you can drown yourself out with the radio. So have at it kind of deal, or are you the some EDM to just power you and put you in the zone and just get it done with and behind you? Um, I'm all over the place on road trips. So we're getting close here to them. It's all about the landmarks. There's the village, the closer of the two coastal villages. So we'll get on back. But yeah, it was a big win. It's cool to see some mushrooms. So what do you what do you guys like on a road trip? One of my favorite things, since we're just cruising in our boat here, is if you're driving at night or early, particularly kind of winter times, and nowadays, I think it's something that passes, right? When you're young and sleep is a joke, and yeah, you can live on Mountain Dew and a couple candy bars at each gas station and some beef jerky along the way. It's it's a different kind of road trip animal than it is when you're a little older. You're like, I'll enjoy this a lot more if I spring for even a kind of cheap low end hotel room that's not my destination, but I actually stop, sleep in a bed, have a sit down dinner at some little small town restaurant that's one you're never gonna visit again, and you just kind of pick at random driving down the street. I love that kind of stuff. But one of the things I used to do more when you're out far from cities, you can hitting a scan, right, and kind of rolling through channels is always kind of cool. You get a sampling of what are the things going on, or what's on the radar of the people in this particular area. And we never did it. We never did it. Why didn't we do it? Why didn't I do it? Can anybody tell me why I don't do those kind of things? Really like to know. If it wouldn't be too much trouble. Oh, we did say we gotta fix this too. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. Why, when you get something like that, you just ignore it and forget you have it in your pocket. This is kind of cool. Each time I come back, I kind of like this area. It's just the building a house and all that, frankly, or even the just all right. Now I got to suck it up and start quarrying rock. Wow, wow, that can collapse. All right, so remember, this is where our bamboo is. Don't forget it. We're gonna need that. And hopefully that's not too far away from home to stop growing like last time. Yeah, I'm not gonna hunt salmon with my brand new diamond sword. Yeah. Still haven't even emptied our pockets. So yeah, I have a treasure map. I don't think we ever bothered with the treasure that was on the ice ship, and we got talking about ice and then wells, and we drove around in the desert and all kinds of stuff. But what we didn't do was get the treasure they were trying to point us to. Like, we don't need, we're too good for treasure. Well, why do we want your treasure? Crazy. All right. So that's the very good news there. Um, we could straight up. I mean, we don't have 8 levels. We could get a 0 level stuff, but between. Oh no, we used up all our diamonds. Can't quite yet, but we're just diamonds away because we already have a book. So we could make the low level enchants right out of the gate. So that's good to see. Now, that was all just gathered wheat, so that's cool. This, what's, give me this, give me that. Oh, I broke this chest. Yet, everything is just off and on. No, I don't have, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll just put the chest over here. Well, I didn't just break it. I swear, if I could get out of my own way, we'd be doing so much better. All right. So these two are going to go in the in here. Actually, let's put them right here because we would have to fill that with redstone blocks. Got that. Unless we're hungry, we're going to put you away. We got bread, we got apples, we got mutton, and we've still got a bunch of pork cooked up. I mean, do we go? What we still haven't really gotten of is any coal or substantial iron. Oh, so disappointed. Oh, look at how, see, I was talking about this dot size. I mean, look at how tiny that is. Ugh. So the liney stuff is water. The flat, kind of more tannish stuff is sand. So I would imagine it may even be right around the village, the desert village that was over there. So far, like a far end of our little boat adventure, but and it's we're going out to the turtles again. They missed us. They were like, "Hey, can we? Thought you were a pal. Want to come hang out and sleep again?" So we're basically going to redo the whole thing, but with less stops this time. These big a deal, if we had some wings or another portal set up or something. All right. So I guess we'll kind of veer this way as much as we can since we've definitely gone down the other coast a couple times. Maybe we'll, now we'll probably go see underwater broken portals and things from the opposite direction, think they're new, dive on them, realize they're not. Lots of turtles. I like the turtles. We'll get to you guys. Do some breeding. So how do we get better about making sure that we use our treasure maps when we need them? Huh? Let's think about that. All this rowing across saltwater is making me thirsty. So I hope the mic didn't pick up too much as I took a couple swallows there. I didn't see an actual portal. I just saw a lot of magma, and you may have noticed a couple times when I encounter that, if you start to feel those bubbles, they'll kind of give you turbulence in your boat. Eventually, they can actually break you. Break is what they're really doing in a game mechanic sense, but they will ultimately, I think, kind of pull your boat underwater. So, in effect, you're losing buoyancy. Okay, none of that is anything treasury, and pull it down. So then it breaks and becomes an item. You can pick it back up again, but you do want to watch out. And usually, if you're doing more or less what we're doing here, where you're cruising across generally untraveled ocean, when those, whether they're an underwater canyon or just a magma spot randomly out in the ocean, or the broken portals, anything like that, where you got magma on the bottom of the ocean, those bubbles will rise. And when when they do show up, they will break the kelp above them. So usually, if you're looking close, you'll see the bubbles, but you may see some kelp out floating on the surface of the water as you approach, and that's a good sign. It's just, kind of like lily pads were back in the day. You want to steer wide and not necessarily go right through the middle of it because it can pull your boat down. It can be a little bit of trouble. You don't need it, and nothing else. It slows you down if like in this case, we're not expecting to come in anything new. We're just trying to get back over to this map spot as quickly as possible. So that's good. As soon as you see yourself um, on a part, now this should be west, so we may be about dead center. We'll have to be just a bit to the south. Yeah, just double check, but I was pretty sure we were going in the direction of the sunset. Uh, that puts us in pretty good bearing because these, as you're a long way out, these maps don't expand their scale. So when you're right in the middle, that means you are lined up with your target, and as long as you're not, so maybe we may be more on the well side based on the icebergs here. Hey, right. The time we went back and forth talking about the well and didn't bother to look at the map. I don't know. We'll see. Now, which village? Oh yeah, this was the same village we just went to. So yeah, it's still looking like well. maybe that's what I've been laughing at all along. I was like, oh yeah, well these wells are dumb. I don't know why there's their purpose for them. They're good for the realism, I guess. But you just see them out in the desert. I was like, oh, do I need some water? I got a bucket here. Um, I don't know. It would be funny though to find that the buried treasure is right under the well. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go up a river, maybe. Still way back, right? We're not past the town yet. Hmm. I don't know. I keep looking now. I'm like, oh, now I'm gonna know. We still haven't even started filling in the map yet, so it could be a long way off. Hey, we're on the map again. Would have been really good to have done this while we were here, not make a separate trip. But maybe we'll find something we missed. Maybe we'll just go exploring more. I was just saying how much I was kind of enjoying seeing the world more than building. What are we gonna do if we're back there, right? Huh. Well, maybe we'll discover that there's a whole potential other ocean just beyond. Got the wish for ocean, didn't we? Bunnies! Run, bunny, run! That's not what I want. That's what I want. Ooh, look, another village. How we're doing all right. We It's a good thing they make these maps waterproof. So I like to swim though. I'm kind of the I don't like to brag, but I'm kind of the Michael Phelps of of Minecraft, I just stretch out like Superman holding my map and kick my feet really hard. Do that body contorting dolphin kick thing that when I was taking swim lessons at the Y, man, we didn't. you just you just kicked. You sometimes did the butterfly frog leg kind of kick, and sometimes you did the just straightforward crawl kick. But you kicked. You didn't. There's no hip movement. Does that make you really good at hula hoop? You you have that level of control. I don't know. I think I'd hurt myself. Have you ever tried to? You, I think everybody's seen the Michael Phelps dive in, and then you just kind of hold your hands straight out and just ripple your body, kind of make it a propeller kind of deal. I don't know, but I guess propeller isn't right. It's not like they're spinning, but it's definitely something crazy. Anyway, let's get down, digging. As I've tried to say to others before, and do as I say, not as I do. Oh, oh no, oh get up! I just doubled down on stupid. First thing, when you're digging underwater, don't dig the block out from under your feet, because no, you're probably not going to fall to your death or anything like that. But it totally makes you inefficient. If you're floating, you're not working as efficiently with the tools if you're standing on the bottom. So we'll take that for our eventual bamboo. Now that I've gotten rid of another iron sword. All right, now where do we leave our boat? Over here somewhere? Oh no, we swam Michael Phelps style all the way across, didn't we? Oh, it's weird. Eating mutton right in front of a sheep. Sorry, sheep. But it's weird. It's not that weird, probably. I mean, people eat salads on picnics and stuff, and you're sitting on grass and eating that, so nobody worries about the grass's feelings. Well, it's because the grass won't rip your arms off if it loses. I recommend a new strategy. Let the salad win. Yeah, we're going to go see this village since we're way over here. And then I think we'll boat and see if we can go around that, if that's a big spit of land, or if that's if this really is a different sea, ocean, lake, whatever, wherever we are. Those may have to be dumped at some point. I don't know. We're never going to use them way over here unless we end up moving, I guess. But that's why we never, no matter where I am, I try not to take the growth of stuff. I've talked about it with the pumpkins. I've always done it. Maps and things apparently give me real trouble, but with sugarcane, I'll always just, trim it with my hand at head level as opposed to ground level, and that way it will keep growing. And even if I never come back, if I should happen to, I'm no worse off. And you always want to grab some sugarcane wherever you are to kind of begin that crop. But once you got it, it grows so fast. It's not there, but it's one of those that it's fun to break, so it's kind of hard to tell yourself not to gather it when you're out there. One thing I want to tell myself not to gather while we're out here is the melon stacks, because we already have 64 slices back home plus a seed, and that's plenty to get started. We don't need to fill up our inventory with more of those when we're this far from home. So, not missing. Also, we got so much hay and wheat now. I'm not dealing with any of that. I am just trying to see if, maybe there's an odd crop in any of these guys. Anything I want to disenchant? Oh. I like the random torch and a stick out here. Since those stairs are over here, maybe I did come up here. Is this the one? Yep. Empty maps. Again, we've talked about them several times. Later in game, yeah, I like to play around with them. Early game, I ain't got no time for empty maps, cartography. Nah, gotta go exploring. Obviously, I've been here. Good stuff. All right, enough of that time. So, as advertised, hi Dolphin. We do have our cooked cod again as well. So once we, how about right about now? Once we finish with our mutton, right, and once we throw these seeds away, now, you know how close I was to doing that. Glad y'all stopped me. You sent me those future mental vibes back, and I'm like, stop! You got a map. You already messed up with this map once. Don't do it again. Hey, look, I dropped some sugar on. Somebody remember where we parked, and when I get lost on that, tell me. Let's try this future communication telepathy thing. Again, I hope if we ever get this going in a stream format to have more of you guys in person live, and certainly the streamers that you do watch, they know what they're doing. They thank people continually, which they should. Honestly, we all want to be playing these and be a part of these communities, but having a stream is a real advantage. It's got a handicap in that you've got to pay attention to your stream, and that can distract you from the game elements. Certainly, I feel like that's getting me in some of these worlds, and I'm just talking to myself and recording it for you guys. But I'm thinking, what's going on, or is this something that's entertaining? Does occupy a part of your mind you normally wouldn't have to bring to the game. So things to be aware of. Hi sheep again. All done eating mutton. Oh no, we parked over here. I was gonna go back to. I was like, oh, we parked the boat. We talked about it, and then I went to the wrong spot. Got a little bit of that dolphin grace, right as we were getting into the boat. It'd be cool if the dolphins would kind of like pull you along in your boat. Maybe you could hook a lead, and then it would just be like a motorboat. You just kind of follow along. It would be kind of random. You wouldn't know how far they were going to go, or which would they turn or something. But if when they jump up and then dive, that's what breaks the lead. So you only get so far, and it's not like they're going to go forever. But just a little speed boost that random would be cool. Something to mix up these long boat rides. Whenever you see a new biome popping up, that's a sign that this may not all connect. So this is the kelp I was talking about. So that usually gets, here, we'll dump in and see if we can take a look. So see, that's actually a break, and then much lower down where it's kind of lighter, there would be magma in that deep ocean ravine, and that that might be all the way down near diamond level stuff, but you definitely want to be beefy before you head down into those super depths of the ocean. I learned quite a bit about dying as I was adapting to some of those techniques. 'Cause, it's so easy to learn that you're in a lot more trouble than you thought you were. Or was this the boat shaped thing that I saw? There it is. This is so. Oh, look, we got a broken portal. Let's not forget that. Let's put this here. It's a nice boat relative to some of the others, and that we have been constantly. Potatoes are good. The coal is good too. Hey, don't forget we've not got a lot of that back home. Drowned. I don't see a trident on you, but we'll have to kind of keep you in mind. What? Oh no. What? Hey, buddy. Hi. So this is challenging. We need a axe. I mean, it's not insurmountably challenging, but anytime you start to see generated structures like this boat that aren't as designed, that's a bit of a trick. We'll get air while we're up here. I want to swap these out, because the easiest way that I know of to kind of deal with what we're seeing here is to keep blocks where they really should be, right? It's easy to be in this doorway and keep air, but if you're trying to hit it as you're going up and down, back and forth past, hey, look at that, we got arrows just falling into our lap. We already grabbed more stuff. So, well, before we do anything else, put this one, let's look at it, make sure we really did get everything mapped. So it's ready to go. Keep that. Definitely a new map. All kinds of stuff, and we look pretty close. So put these gravel in. I think we like everything else we have pretty well. Switch that back over, and then let's get them back up now. Oh, and we still have. Let's go sleep. It's getting dark. We still have one more treasure chest to go to. Let's not forget that. And we got a buried treasure, and we've got a portal. Oh, there. Oh, very cool. So, first things first. And I think we'll do the old chop through the top of the boat. Since we're so shallow here, it's kind of silly not to. Alright. More emeralds. These don't even take a... When you're really shallow and you chop through the floor of the ceiling and you got immediate access, fill your lungs with air before you go back down and start emptying the chest. I mean, it's just common sense. Alright. So that was good. We got some good loots there. Now, this is challenge. Get you. What this is gonna obviously do is painfully overfill us. I guess we can start ditching stone tools as we need to. But we're not there yet. Let's get our map. We are aligned. And this is, you know, if I didn't think that this coastline was cutting right back around, I would have overlanded it up to that portal first. It's getting bigger. I don't. Oh. Oh my goodness. Piggy. Pushy piggy. Careful, bud. If I wasn't so full of stuff, that'd be bacon for you. I've said it before, and I will say it again. There are definitely times when this game just decides we've given you a bit too much luck, and we're not going to outright just thunderbolt from the sky and kill you, but go carefully. I'm not taking any of that stuff. It's all the armor, particularly for the horses, is good, but this is what we just filled in. This has to be where we came from. What? Like that. Turn around. How am I so turned around? Dude, where's my car? There's the boat. Now, we don't really want to be going west. We want to be going back around the coast this way. I don't know. Pretty silly. Now I understand how I did get so spun. Well, I don't understand how. I know kind of where that originated, but I still don't know. Oh, we overshot. Okay, the big future reminder I need in this moment is please, 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 please remind me when we do get back to camp. Even the bad I've kind of talked about my actual desire to do building and stuff on it. I want to get its coordinates. So please remind me when we get back to note those and jot them down. Going to be really important. If, as seems to be the case, I persist in trying to get lost anyway. Awesome. Look at all this goodiness. Alright. Oh. Just click on the stuff in your box instead of, a dozen emeralds already? These will stack. It's so nice when the things that you don't terribly need, but are nice to have. You hit them a couple times on the same trip, right? That definitely maximizes the return. Now, we're not going to bring two iron swords. They're still kind of nice, but whatever. Let's. I think we're going to end up dumping some of these, but we've got enough. Can eat one and maybe get through our rowing. Okay, so now let's all try to keep our bearings about us that we're in the new sea ocean, going around this before we head back to base, and we're still kind of heading away from it, not back, which is maybe silly as full as we are, but I always kind of feel that you're always that last little bend before you're going to get to where you want, and for this, until we really see it curving all the way back around like it may be doing right. If this all loops back to those sand dunes over there, then we give it up. We pick up our boat, cross the land on foot, and try to get home. Hmm. This looks odd. It's just dirt. Yeah, I guess so. Sometimes dirt just sticks up like that and looks. I think we're really only just getting back to where we were. So, what's if this works out as planned, those are poppies, not lava. Um, we round this point, and if I had a full stack of rocks, I might, this might be the place to erect just a tower and torches all around. Not a big like climb up inside a tower, but a spit of land type tower because this is significant. This isn't just an island, and if we're out on other ocean journeys, now we know that that loops back around. This this is as far as land goes, but if you follow this land all the way back around, eventually that takes us home. There's good stuff, and it's not just an island to swing around, so pretty cool. So for anyone, I momentarily lost it, but for anybody that's not clear on where we're at, we're now going back along the edge of the land that will take us to that desert village and the icebergs. So, if we kind of just went like this straight through, we'd probably skim the mushroom island and eventually get back to base. And I think we'll actually kind of cut this corner. There's not a ton of extra land as I would imagine between the two. We didn't do that big a circle. We passed that village and cut through the river. Ended up picking up our boat and just walking over to that the village and the map site. Did I do it again? I did it again. The good news is we can maybe get back. I mean, we're so close, right? Remember to write down the base coordinates too when I get home, Hambbage. That's on the to-do list. I wish I had an actual. If I had an actual list right here, I would be very happy. Now we're gonna have to sleep, but that's all right. We just can't lose our boat. Our dot is so darn big. We should start showing up on this map anytime now. So we're just crossing right over the middle of this land bridge now, and yeah, have a quick nap. Ooh, the wind just rattled the windows and the chimney in my place. All right, map. There we go. We're filling in. Map, map, map. Should have brought the boat. Should have brought the boat. Oh no. We may have to climb this little hill or go around it. It's the she'll be coming around the mountain song. White horses and all those things. We all learn that either, in school or music lessons or whatever, or, just as a little kid sing-along song. But you think, like, oh, that was total, probably, in a more slowly evolving culture, but that was pop art type stuff back, all those little references and things people probably chuckled about and laughed. This, I'm just so. Look at the boat. That's kind of cool view. Look, you can. There's all the way out to the broken portal. Didn't silence my phone. Getting a text. Yeah, it's not. This has not been an episode of. This is how to do things efficiently. Here's how you scramble and you find some cool stuff as a result. Why do I keep? I want to go back over to where the treasure was, but we obviously. Oh, excuse me. Now the hiccups again. We obviously already did that. Just we're so breaking trees, by the way. There's no way I'm going all the way back for that boat. We've already got acacia sapling, so we're not do that. But I'll take you. At least whatever excess we have, we can carry still. Oh, it's just. It's a haired one. That's true. I'm not even sure who it was. They said, you guys are lucky. You like to laugh at me for the mistakes I make. And that's fair. You're certainly entitled to it. But just understand, I have to live with this all. This is me. This is how it goes. You guys think you got it rough. You turn off the stream video content, whatever it may be. I don't get that option. I'm stuck like this. So it gives me a chuckle. I can certainly relate to that. Okay, one more look at this map. Not done yet, but by the time we go up around there, I don't know why we need to bother. Just keep our shield there. Got some sugar. Let's get this little batch. I always leave the sugar. I'm an environmentalist. It's just Earth Day. Just passed yesterday Earth Day, I think. I'm totally sensitive. I'd never cause any unintended consequences of my life. Yeah, none of us do. Oh wait, no, we're human. We all do. that was snarky. Sorry. Ooh, this is maybe a new interesting thing. I didn't anticipate a little spit of land going out this way. So again, mushroom kind of out this way, but if this goes too far, we may not quite be home free yet in our way back home. I think it will likely end. I mean, we probed out this way, which is to the south, a few times. I'm gonna try to go east a long ways, and then just pure guess where the point is to cut back. From our earlier adventures, we knew that these are the closest things I have to blocks at this point anyway, so might as well carry them there. we'd gone all the way across the swamp and the other icy biomes and stuff when we were looking to see if there's anything right around. I don't think we swung that far south. Oh, there's the little water building, and the mushrooms are going to pop up right beyond it. That's a good landmark. Here they come. Summon the Mushroom Island. Ah, that's neat. I mean, this is cool stuff. Let's go see if we can lose this one. First thing here would be, can we make it safe? Always the challenge. I hear ya. So down, pick, then go up. Because again, the bouncy technique is tough. Okay, so the reason I did that, if drowned are coming after us, being able to get out of the water is huge. Now we go up, get some more air. I still haven't seen that drown. I didn't really look around for him too much, but ooh, nice. Grab all that. What are you? Unbreaking. And how do we end up with stairs? Oh, no, 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 no. You, go. Okay. Now, don't hit Q and throw away any good stuff. So that was cool. We got a little bit of stuff. I don't, all the unbreaking fishing rod means is that we can use it a lot longer. Maybe we hold on to it, and when we eventually get to the point of grabbing either seeing, as we're just rolling in chance, or there's an extra little bit of island. This is I've certainly seen bigger in the mushrooms. Briefly, occurs that we can make a base out here, but I don't know that's where we want to live. We'd be out in the middle of the ocean, no friends around, no closer to a village than we already are. And don't color me convinced on that. This may be just, I'm looking at what I think is a similar structure, and it may be deep enough that we don't bother. The first one that we popped up into would, with those blocks above the surface that I broke, if a trident guy comes, they'll lose aggro. If you're out of the water, you can get them to just go back and do their own thing. So a little bit of we might end up stuck, but at least we'd be able to think about our attempts to escape. But we're still not really to the go ahead and just dive straight down and see what comes of it. But every little bit of extra stuff that we get helps. Like I said, we're not gonna overly rely on iron, but we're also not going to gonna pretend like we haven't improved since we found all that stuff. What trouble is afoot now? What could possibly be waiting to blow up in our world that it just froze up? I hope our stream isn't being impacted here. Wow, that was weird. You guys still here? We just went over 2. I'd love to wrap this up. We're in the middle of the ocean. Hang on 1 second. I'm just going. I wonder if this is the browser. So I'm gonna, while we're talking here, I'm just scheduling a future one. Oh, yeah, this is this isn't the current video. It won't. We're gonna schedule that one out into the future. Let's call it that, just to keep y'all guessing what time it may show up. Because I know you're all just gathered around TV sets, going phones, laptops, tablets. When will that next video come along? And I know we're just kind of sitting there. It had frozen. I hope when I get back to the game it will come back, but I'm hoping that whatever resourcey stuff is going on may have been tied into the browser that I just closed out. So I'm just gonna trim things back a little bit and try to get home, and then we'll call it good. So back to the game. Hope we can move. Now, are we still heading in a kind of northeast-ish direction? That's good. Are we gonna make it to this little bit of island before it gets really dark? And then it's, how many islands can we make it to before the monsters come out? I think this one's reasonable. Get out of bed. Sleep. And can I don't know what the real, I know it varies a little bit. Some people are totally down with quick hitting short videos. So summaries, I certainly find the appeal of. Like you got a long stream and there's a consolidation of the highlights of it, of each of those streams that you can kind of go through quickly. Big fan, but this is certainly the longer play format and the enjoy everything, enjoy or suffer through, but whichever way, it's out there for you to watch it, and whether you speed it up or not, that's totally your prerogative. There's no right way to watch a stream, so just enjoy as you do. So we panicked a little bit, got a little early, but we'll cruise on back for home and wrap this up. We're going to be probably in the 2 hours 10 minutes range on this particular one, and that's I've kind of been 2 hours or under for most, but a few have gone over just slightly, and I'm curious. I haven't really gotten a lot of feedback. Man, we gotta get out. We gotta do a reboot or something. We're so close to home. Look at, there's home. I just don't know what's making this particular world so much more jiggly, joltery. Something. It's not good, whatever it is, but at least I'm getting familiar with the coastline a little bit. You can recognize home. The big trees are standing out a little bit more than the little ones. And someday maybe we'll have a little home around here. But as for now, we're going to be very long on treasury type items, very short on basic necessities. Like, not that's what I think food we're very good on, but coal and iron and some of those kind of things we're still, it's like day one. Yeah, of course, the iron bars help a lot. We can switch out that, but we got to move out of the stone tool world age. We already got diamonds, and we're lagging behind. We do have our full ability for enchanting, but we don't have the books and all the goodies to to go along with that yet. So, and we got 2 filled-in maps that we can use as decoration, but we don't have a house. We got potatoes, but no fields. Both our cash crops are good. That's excellent. So it's a mixed bag. I'm not dissatisfied with our start. I love that we got mushrooms and all that, but we've kind of, as much as I hate to see that, because I love that biome and it's got a lot of fond memories of hunting for it, and sometimes you never see it, and the scarcity is so cool. But I mean, you guys saw it. We kind of did it now. I see that. I see that laughingly. Again, it's got the appeal of no mob spawning on it, which is both good and bad. But it also, it's not real pretty. It doesn't have a whole lot of extra deep content that goes along with it. So we ate a cooked salmon. I'm just gonna leave those. Switch over. If I'm gonna carry stacks of stuff, I want to have those. As few as we have. And again, very close to wrapping up here. It's that time I'll begin to say how much I've appreciated having you guys along for this one. Sorry, it can get a little bit frustrating when you're going along and realizing that you've made a few mistakes along the way that you're now having to make up for. And it's much easier I'm finding to laugh those off when you're playing by yourself. Oh, now I got to take an extra boat ride, and no big deal. In this episode, we basically went out and back, out and back. Yeah, we found some more cool stuff, and that was great. And I think that helps show the advantage of the big oceans near a base. Even when there's stuff going on around you, you can always get out and see more. And even if you're traveling between 2 known points, you may see something along the way that you missed in other times. And I almost guarantee there's lots of stuff that we haven't spotted yet as we've gone. Maybe you guys are sharp-eyed in the video watching, going, yeah, there's this. But I think we'll get motivated to do some of the building stuff along the way. It just the time will be right when it is. And excuse the hiccups. That's the green chili. Thanks so much. Really have enjoyed getting these guys going, and I hope we get a little more traction in the world and can. Oh my! If I see that, if I just saw what I think I just saw, and I've done this to myself and to you guys, the frustration of the boat ride, if that really happened and I look at the video, will be nothing if I had that screen up the whole time. Guys, it's not a game, apparently. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna go try to regroup, scan this video real quick, definitely reboot the laptop, which wasn't helping anything either. Maybe it was trying to tell me though that, hey, you're playing with a notepad in front of the camera the whole time. But at least I repositioned it right into the middle of the screen. My apologies. If that's the one, I doubt anyone will watch to this part. But if you did, thanks or sorry for your foolishness and just not getting to the remote or the button to skip ahead to the next one. We'll try to do better. But thanks again for being with me, and see you next time. Bye now.